Episode 4 picks up immediately after Alice narrowly escapes another uncomfortable encounter with Marshall. Although she manages to get away, the emotional damage is obvious. Sitting alone in her car, she desperately tries calling Danny, hoping to talk to the one person she trusts most. Unfortunately, Danny is spending time with his son, Liam, and never notices the call. The episode then explores just how deeply Alice's past trauma continues affecting her life. Instead of dealing with her emotions in a healthy way, she invites another man to her house and shocks him by insisting they fight before anything else happens. What begins as confusion quickly turns into a brutal fight. Hours later, Alice is left covered in bruises, but she walks away feeling as though she has regained a small amount of control over the pain she carries from her abusive relationship. Even after releasing some of that anger, Alice still cannot sleep. With nowhere else to turn, she calls Nora in the middle of the night. Together, they decide to continue searching for Isabel Luna by visiting the local vice district. Because Jay and Caleb Easton's faces have been removed from the photograph for security reasons, nobody recognizes Isabel, and the investigation reaches another dead end. Back at the FBI office, Nora begins searching through old digital evidence collected over many years. The disturbing archive fails to produce any results, so Alice suggests checking records of unidentified deceased individuals instead. That decision finally produces a breakthrough. Nora discovers an old report describing a young woman whose appearance matches Isabel Luna. Matching hospital wristbands confirm that the victim is almost certainly Isabel. But instead of celebrating the discovery, Nora becomes visibly shaken. The reason soon becomes clear. She personally investigated Isabel's murder 15 years earlier while working under her former supervisor, Ed George. Rather than telling Alice what she has found, Nora keeps the information completely secret. The following morning, Alice joins the team for another briefing despite the bruises covering her body. Both Marshall and Danny notice her injuries, but Alice refuses to discuss them. Their next assignment is to interview Emma Easton, the daughter of Jay Easton and the sister of Caleb. Although their instructions are to keep the interview casual, Danny quickly confronts Emma with the incriminating photograph of Jay surrounded by minors. Emma immediately claims the images are fake, but both investigators sense she knows much more than she admits and may still be protecting her father. With little progress made, Alice and Danny travel to an orphanage connected to Isabel Luna's childhood. While they investigate, Catherine quietly begins targeting someone new. Using another fake identity, she introduces herself as a former sex worker turned activist before arranging a meeting with a man named Blanchard. After spending the night together, Catherine completely changes her behavior the next morning, acting as though she already belongs in his home. The reason soon becomes obvious. Blanchard himself is not her target. His father is. The moment Hal sees Catherine, he immediately recognizes her. Terrified that his past may finally catch up with him, he desperately begs her to leave without exposing him. Catherine appears willing to accept his request, asking only that he accompany her to the elevator. Once they are alone, Hal suddenly begins threatening her. He never gets the chance to finish. Catherine injects him with a fast-acting substance that leaves him almost completely helpless within seconds. She calmly forces him into a waiting van without attracting attention, showing once again how carefully she plans every move. Meanwhile, Alice and Danny grow closer during their long drive. Danny finally opens up about his son, Liam, explaining that the boy has a learning disability and currently lives in a care facility while Danny's marriage continues falling apart. In return, Alice shares a painful truth of her own. She admits she has been paying strangers to fight her because physical pain has become her way of coping with the abuse she suffered in her previous relationship. The conversation becomes one of the episode's most important moments, strengthening the trust between the two partners. At the orphanage, the investigation takes another huge step forward. The caretaker confirms that Isabel Luna lived there until she was 14 years old. Although Isabel repeatedly tried to run away, she always returned until her final disappearance. The caretaker also reveals that Isabel appeared to be pregnant shortly before she vanished, making the case even more disturbing. Then comes the biggest revelation of the episode. Isabel was never alone. Her closest friend throughout childhood was a girl named Catherine Grace. According to the caretaker, Catherine never formed meaningful relationships with anyone else. After Isabel disappeared, Catherine also left the orphanage, disappearing from the system entirely. The discovery finally gives Alice what she has been searching for. She now believes Catherine Grace is the serial killer she has been chasing. Elsewhere, Nora's own past begins catching up with her. After drinking too much while still on duty, she runs into her former supervisor, Ed George, who is delivering a lecture on police mental health. Their tense conversation makes it obvious their professional relationship ended badly years earlier. At the same time, Marshall speaks with Nora about Alice, causing Nora to reconsider how much of the truth she should reveal. Back at the FBI office, Alice independently searches old files using pregnancy as an additional clue. She eventually finds the same case Nora had discovered earlier. The excitement quickly disappears. The records confirm that Isabel Luna is dead. Before Alice can fully process what she has uncovered, Nora removes her from the investigation altogether. The decision immediately raises new questions. Is Nora trying to protect Alice from something dangerous? Or is she hiding secrets connected to the original investigation? Alice quickly realizes Nora handled Isabel's case 15 years ago, but by then it is already too late to expect honest answers. The episode closes with one final unsettling scene. Hal is still alive. Although the drug temporarily left him helpless, he slowly begins regaining consciousness. His survival means Catherine's latest victim may soon become a serious threat, while Alice now stands closer than ever to uncovering both Catherine's identity and the hidden truth buried inside Isabel Luna's murder investigation.